Hey y'all, this is a story about my worst experience as an Airbnb host. Before I get into the story, I must tell you that my name is Ansel Troy and I am currently a member of the Airbnb Host Advisory Board. I am affiliated with Airbnb, but this channel is not endorsed by Airbnb. It is not sponsored by Airbnb. The views expressed here are my own. So I am doing this as Ansel Troy, and this is separate from my role on the Host Advisory Board. I have to say that because Airbnb is a corporation, okay? My worst experience as an Airbnb host. I was contacted by a guest who booked and said that she was excited to come and that she would be arriving in the afternoon, but her boyfriend would be arriving before her. She also mentioned that her boyfriend did not speak English. I said, no problem. Thank you for booking. The usual. So the following day, I'm in my backyard, and my Airbnb is in my backyard. It's a detached studio. And there's a Latino gentleman who arrives. I say hello to, and it's clear that he is a Spanish speaking, and I don't think he understood English. Maybe it wasn't clear, but I'm thinking that this is him. There's a Latino gentleman, and when I said hello and welcome, he did not respond to me. Thank you for hosting me. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm such and such's boyfriend. None of that. He just said hi and went ahead and went in. I don't think anything of it. I think nothing of it. That's her boyfriend. Woo! And this is where it gets crazy. I had another gentleman book who was scheduled to come the following day. He was scheduled to come the following day, the day after this guest and her boyfriend checked out. Another Latino male. You probably get where I'm going. When my guest arrived, the woman, she said, hey, somebody's stuff is in here. And I said, yeah, your boyfriend, he checked in earlier. She said, no, my boyfriend's not here yet. I go outside and I said, yeah, I was here when he checked in. I pull out my phone and I show her, because luckily I was home at the time. I pull out my phone and I show her on my cameras when he arrived. And she says, that's not my boyfriend. Whoa. This is a true story, y'all. My heart dropped. Thankfully, he had left. He dropped off his stuff and he left. My heart dropped because I don't know who this person is who checked in. So I immediately removed his stuff from the space. Thankfully, he said it looked like he just put his stuff down and sat on the bed. I said, he hasn't touched anything. I'm gonna give you some fresh bedding. I'm gonna bag up his belongings because he only had a one night reservation. Her reservation was only one night. Bagged up his things, went and made the bed. She had left and then came back and let her know that the space was ready. In fact, my memory's kind of cloudy. I don't remember if she stayed or not while I was removing all the bedding, and then I also went in and disinfected the toilet and all that stuff. And I finally realized that it was my guest who was supposed to arrive the following day. Now, if you are an OG Airbnb user or host, traveler or host, then you know that back in the day, I don't even know if it's still the case, Airbnb will give you the check-in instructions 3 days before your reservation. I remember when I booked an Airbnb for Seattle for my 30th birthday many years ago, I got the check-in instructions 3 days before my check-in. So I believe I was sending my check-in instructions to my guest the day prior. So it turns out that my guest, who was supposed to come the following day, that he got his days mixed up and he checked in early. Are you following this? He also didn't speak English. I found out. So I had to call my son's mother, who is Mexican, and ask her, could she get one of her family members to call him and translate. And they called him, the other guest, and spoke to him in Spanish, and he apologized and said he got his days mixed up. And then he came by that evening and got his belongings, and then left. Everything worked out. But when I tell you that was the lowest of the low, it was so scary. At that moment, I was like, oh my God, because imagine what would have happened if she checked in and he was in there. Imagine. And what if I wasn't home? If you look at my listing, my score is 4.99. Let's put the listing right here. 4.99. I've gotten all 5-star reviews except for this one reservation. And that reservation was the one when she gave me 4 stars. I should also mention that I refunded her stay. She stayed for free. I should have said that initially. I immediately refunded her money. Immediately. She was only there for 1 night. I immediately refunded her money. It gets worse. It gets worse. I got an 86-inch TV in there. When I removed the bedding, the remote was inside of the blanket. So she couldn't even watch TV. I may have sent her something a little extra once I found the remote. And I'm just like, oh my God, she came. Somebody had already checked in. Oh my goodness. I removed all the bedding. The remote was in the blanket that I put in my clothes hamper. Didn't realize that till the following day. She still left me a nice review. She left me 4 stars. And to be honest, if she would have left me 1 star, it would have been okay. I would have owned it. Because when we respond to negative reviews, we're not responding to the guests. We're actually responding to we are communicating with our potential guests that are reading our reviews and reading our responses. That's who we're talking to. So if she would have gave me a negative review, I would have owned it, and I don't give my check-in instructions until the morning of the reservation. Until the morning of. It's an auto message that goes out the morning of the reservation. Never again. Do not give out your check-in instructions until the day of arrival. Some people give it out an hour before arrival. I usually give it out. It's on it's a message. It's a message template that's scheduled to go out. It's a scheduled message. And it goes out around 8 something in the morning. I want people to look at my check-in information before they arrive. But this was a story of my scariest, not the scariest, because I did have the one guest that disappeared. But that was a different situation. The guest that just disappeared and didn't come back and then was found to be in the hospital. This one was a guest that showed up where somebody had already checked in. And I had to go into fix it fast mode, and we got it taken care of. But if you learned anything from this video, do not give out the check-in instructions early. Don't give them nothing early. The day of arrival, that's when you give it to them. All right. My name is Ansel Troy. I'm a super host, community leader, Airbnb host, advisory board member. I've been featured in the Wall Street Journal, Architectural Digest. If you have any questions about Airbnb, if you need a consultation, if you need help setting up your Airbnb, feel free to reach out to me. My resume speaks for itself. You can Google me on the internet. I am the host extraordinaire. Thank you for watching this video. I appreciate you. And if you stayed all the way to the end, drop a comment and let me know what state you're from. Drop a comment below and represent your state. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.